This is a stitching that I did a few years ago, and I just thought I'd share with you how it can turn out if you do this. It's not regular embroidery. If you'll notice, I'm just going in and out. I'm not going back up through. And I call it a primitive stitch. And I sewed many pillows like this. But I'm going to iron this and show you what I'm going to do with it. I'm not real big into Halloween. I know a lot of people are, but I thought this would just be kind of a fun project. Not scary or spooky, just cute. Now, the pumpkin and the cat I cut out of fabric, just pictures of them, and I cut them out and I stitched those on around the edges. I had this frame. It's a barnwood frame that my brother-in-law made years ago, but you could get any frame to fit whatever size your stitching is. And I cut out a piece of cardboard to put this on. And I'm just going to try to center it up as best I can. And I'm going to use just a little bit of a glue stick. We'll see how that works. I'm just going to kind of put it on the edges, like so. And then try to center it. I think that's good. Now I'm going to put this on here. Push the cardboard in. I didn't have the perfect nails out here for this, but these will work. And there you have it. This is a super easy project that anyone can do. If you go to Hobby Lobby or somewhere, you'll find some fabric with Halloween type decorations on it or prints, and just use that, and then I'll show you how to stitch. I never did go in for scary stuff all that much. I guess I scare too easy. And I have a funny story. Once when we were moving across town, my husband was working nights and my daughter was still in the car seat. She was little, and we would take a load or two over to the new house just across town. And one evening, it was probably just wasn't dark yet, but it was getting to the evening, and we were going down the road, and all of a sudden this car pulled up right beside us, and that was kind of scary in itself. And I looked over, and this guy was hanging out the window, and he was waving, and I remember he had long hair, and he was just scary looking to me. And of course I had my baby with me as well. And so I thought, okay, we're coming up to the house. If they're still doing this, I'm just going to go straight. I'm not going to turn off. Well, I kept on going. I was really, really scared. Of course, my daughter didn't know what was going on. She was too little. And we got right nearly to my house, and I was going to turn, and they went on around me, and I got in the driveway and I thought, oh, sorry. I got in the driveway and I thought, oh, thank goodness, thank you, Lord. They didn't follow me in here to kill me or whatever. And I sat there a second to get my breath, and I finally opened the door and looked around, and my purse was hanging out the door, the window. I had laid my purse on top of my car and shut the door, and it caught the handle in the door. And this nice guy was trying to say, hey, stupid lady, your purse is flying out the car. And at the end, I remember him just going like that. And I was thinking I was in trouble for my life. And he was just trying to help me out. I felt so stupid. So anyway, I get scared easy, I guess, if that scared me. But anyway, this picture here is about the scariest I like for Halloween. I had this fabric, and it has birds on it and butterflies. And I know a lot of people associate red birds with maybe someone that recently passed. Well, this isn't red birds. So I just tried an example. I painted one of the birds red. So I'm going to see how that works. It may and it may not. So I have my red paint. Get my brush here. I'm going to paint it before I cut it out. Now I know that the beak is not in line with the red birds, but that's okay. Just going to paint over the bird a little. I'm sure if you went to Hobby Lobby or somewhere you could find red birds, but you know me, I try to just make do with what I have. Okay, it's kind of sloppy there, but that's okay because I'm going to cut it out. Okay, there it is. I'm going to let it dry overnight. And then tomorrow, I'll come cut it out and put it on my fabric, and we'll stitch the words. I let this dry overnight, and I think it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to cut it out close to the edge, and we'll go from there. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but the red cardinals are the males. They're red to distract any predators, where the females are kind of a brown with reddish tint. So brownish gray with a reddish tint. So this is a male cardinal. I don't really call them cardinals. I call them red birds. I printed out cardinals appear when angels are near, and I'm just kind of laying it on the backdrop here just to kind of see how I want to do it. You just kind of have to mess around with it and see what you like best. Cardinals appear. Okay, now if I can see this, we'll stitch it up. I just totally lost the audio of this part of the video, but I'm explaining that I use 2 strands of embroidery floss and come in from the bottom and come up and then just catch a little tiny bit of the fabric and pull the needle back out and then go down. Basically, it's like you're just making a little dotted line is what it looks like when you're sewing it. And my camera angle is not much help, I know. I'm sorry for that. This is a really fun thing to do, though, and relaxing. If you make a mistake, you can just use your needle to pull the threads back out, rethread it, and all right, I'm down to the very end. All I like is finishing my A and R and then the period. I had to change my threads, so and I came out of the A and I went to the very bottom of the R. I'm on the word near. What I did, I got to where I couldn't see my tracing. I guess my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. Well, I know they aren't. And so I went back over it, put the paper back under it, and traced again. At this time, I used ink. I used a big pen, and it worked great. It is reminding me how much I enjoyed doing this, and I think you could enjoy it too. It doesn't take much at all. This is just some muslin. And embroidery floss. When I do words, I usually do black, but you could do any color you like. And now I'm down to the period, so I'm going to do a French knot, and I pull up and put my needle down there and wrap around it about 3 times. Then grab it and go back down right near the same spot. And there I have my French knot, my period. Then on the back, I'm going to just kind of knot it off here, just like you would if you were sewing something else. This is my favorite little embroidery hoop. You just squeeze like that, and I guess they still make them. I've had this one for years. I'm sure I got it at a Walmart or something like that. But it's a perfect size. I have them smaller and I have them larger, but this, in comparison to my hand, this is how big it is. And I find that to be a really good size because you don't want so much on your, I don't know, pattern showing, or at least I don't. I just think this is a good size. I can't tell you why, but I do. All right, I got it finished, the stitching. I'm going to press it, and then we're going to put the frame on it and decide where we need to place our cardinal. I'm a little rusty, so my stitching's not great, but it wouldn't cost you anything to buy some muslin and then just practice your stitching. And the more you do it, the better it'll look. Now, now I'm going to lay my frame across it. This is another one of my brother-in-law's frames. And I like that very well. maybe down just a hair. Trying to do this one-handed. Okay, now I can, it's kind of what I call a Frankenstein stitch. I'm just going to go all around it with my black floss, 2 strands like before, and just stitch this on. Okay, I've got it pinned on, and I'm going to just go around the edges. Just a really crude type stitch. And I find that if you go in the fabric first and then come down in the piece you're stitching on, it keeps it in place better. I wish I had a better setup so I could show you better, but this is the best I can do. I'm making this for one of my best friends that lost her son and has been noticing cardinals on her fence, and it gives her comfort. And I didn't have fabric paint. I just had ordinary, I think it was apple barrel. Probably got it at Walmart or somewhere such as that. Anyway, I'll do some more of this and then I'll come back and show you the results. Okay, I just finished and knotted it underneath. And here we have it. I just need to press it once more and then we'll put it in the frame. I'm going to put the nails in. I had some brown craft paper that I trimmed to fit and glued on the back so it had all the rough edges. And there we have it. Cardinals appear when angels are near. So I hope this is something you can try. And that's pretty much it for now. Thank you so much for watching our home at Young's Crossing. And if you could give me a like or comment, it would really help greatly. Thank you so much. Bye.